I believe that Pomni's sister will be featured in episode 2 of the Amazing Digital Circus. In this video, I'll discuss my many theories and predictions about how Pomni's sister will appear in episode 2. Before I get into any theories though, I'll show you guys evidence that Pomni's sister will appear in the second episode. Hi everyone! And before we get started, I'd like to ask you to subscribe to my channel and watch my other videos about the Amazing Digital Circus theories. Enjoy the show. And now let's talk about Pomni's sister. First off, episode 2 of the show, according to creator Gooseworx, will introduce a new character that we haven't encountered yet. Although this could be anyone, I believe it's a good guess to say it could be someone close to or related to Pomni, such as a family member or close friend. Additionally, I believe that on Tumblr Gooseworx, no one has come close to guessing what the second episode will be about, which could fit this theory because, well, people have made fan art depicting what the Pomni sister would look like if they existed, but not many people are precisely theorizing what will happen. Finally, keep in mind that when Pomni appears in the mirror, nothing will be quite as expected. Despite having most of her memories erased, Pomni manages to recognize her face in the first episode of the Amazing Digital Circus. That's not all though, as it has already been established beyond a reasonable doubt that Pomni works for CA, the company that created the Digital Circus, as evidenced by the presence of both her VR headset and desk in question. Together, these clues suggest that whoever Pomni used to be in the real world would be familiar with the appearance of her character. My interpretation of the scene where Pomni looks into the mirror is that it could mean something different, but it doesn't make sense to me that Pomni is staring at a character she created with such affection. This leads me to believe that it might symbolize someone or something significant to her, which could be your sister. If this theory is correct, then Pani could be your sister, and we might get to see her in the upcoming episode of the Amazing Digital Circus. You might be thinking that the circus roster is a little too full, given that Pomni replaced Kaufmo after he was abstracted. But when you consider that no one was aware of Kaufmo's abstraction until it was too late, that leaves room for even more characters. Another thing I observed in the first episode was that instead of regular circus personnel, there were a number of wooden mannequins on the door as Pomni and Ragatha were walking down the hall to meet Kaufmo. Now that I've explained why I believe Pomni's sister will appear in the second episode of the Amazing Digital Circus, let me proceed to discuss why we see Kane dining with mannequins at the end of the episode. It has been widely speculated and all but proven that these mannequins are placeholders for future circus members. Much as how wooden mannequins are used as placeholders in whatever media an artist is working on, I would want to discuss my theory about her role in episode 2. The episode will open with Pomni still in shock and horror at her new fate of being trapped in the Amazing Digital Circus, possibly forever. The characters notice this and respond appropriately. Ragatha confronts Pomni Kinger, who tries to make this worse by saying something stupid. Zubul tries to avoid it. And Jax, of course, is there and is just a general nuisance. Suddenly, a character is going to arrive exactly like Pomni did in the first episode of the Amazing Digital Circus, and respond the same way that Pomni did when she first became caught. Pomni is starting to freak out and try to take off the headset. Pomni tells them that the stuff isn't going to come off. They ask Kane what is going on, and he explains that they are in the Amazing Digital Circus. He shows them the grounds, the sun, the moon, and even the void. Everything is parallel to Pally's entrance of the Amazing Digital Circus. Jax is upset for the same reason as in the pilot episode, because they have to redo the entire intro again, but this is ignored. Even though there is a new character in the mix, Kane asks this new character what their name is, and they are unable to recall once more. Kane then pulls down the name picker, and after a few pushes of the lever, the name Susie is selected. Everyone is told to go to their rooms, and Kane asks Pomni to give Susie a tour of the inside of the circus. I believe that a significant portion of episode 2 will revolve around the rooms, because we have a leak from the official Wacky Watch website that shows the inside of Pomni's room, which gave us the impression that we would see every character's room in episode 2. Pomni introduces Susie to us and even shows her room. Once inside, they notice that Susie's room is exactly like Pomni's, as shown in this leak. Pomni and Susie start to suspect that they are related to each other in some way. but they decide to work together in spite of their mutual suspicions and defy Kane's plan to try to get out. They play by the rules of the circus for several days, but eventually they come up with a plan to find a way out of the circus. The only problem is that they don't really know how to leave. When Pomni tried to enter through the door, she was spit back into what seemed to be an endless void. Eventually, Pomni remembers that Kaufmo has gone insane trying to find out more about an exit, so they decide to return to check on his room. The following night, Pomni and Susie attempted to visit Kaufmo's room, but they discovered that it is locked. Pomni realizes that Jax has the master key to every room, but she's afraid to ask for assistance because of his destructive tendencies, so she determines that stealing it would be the best course of action. The two knock on Jax's door, hoping to get an answer, but when they don't get one, they knock again and get suspicious that Jax might be playing them. She finds herself in a room surrounded by darkness when she turns the doorknob and opens the door. Jax may be seen fidgeting in bed with his hands and head. Similar to Regatha in the first episode, Jax is starting to lose his sense of reality when he finds a key on the bedside table next to him. Jax questions them about their whereabouts. After being apprehended, Pomni and Susie had to tell Jax everything, including their escape strategy and the necessity for the key. He informed them that their scheme would never succeed, but also expressed his want to see them. The two believe Jax apologizes Pomni for his escape because he never will give them the key and says he probably won't need it much longer anyhow. Pomni and Susie run down the hall to finally unlock the door, but before they can see who is entering Kaufmo's room, they shut it and run inside. Kane bursts in, looking around, but Pomni and Susie were too well hidden to evade capture, and Kane leaves. Pomni and Susie start looking around, picking up various papers and anything else they can fit into their pockets that might have a clue to an exit eventually. When Pomni and Susie hears Kane's voice, they finally unlock the door. When they open the door to leave because they've had enough, they discover Kane outside. He asks them what they were doing, and Susie just responds that they were paying their respects to Kaufmo. When Kane asks them how they got in, Pomni takes out the key, which he knows belongs to Jax. Nevertheless, Kane doesn't give a damn and goes back to Jax's room to see Kaufmo. However, as Kane unlocks Jax's door, he discovers to his dismay that Jax has been abstracted. The show then ends with a rolling black credits screen that features more Omna music than before. I think all the puzzles fit together, and this would be the most logical sequel after the Amazing Digital Circus pilot video. I think that Pomni's sister is the most suitable character for the second episode. But characters like Queen or Gooby will be revealed in later episodes or as secondary characters. Write your opinion if you would like to see Pomni's sister in the second episode, and what do you think about this variant of the plot development? Omni music than the previous time. But tell me what you think of this theory and whether you think Peony's sister might appear in episode 2 in the comments section below. Put your likes and subscribe. Good luck to everyone. Bye.